This is a report about children's Warlpiri in Lajamanu. In 2010, I recorded lots of children telling stories in Warlpiri. They talked in two kinds of Warlpiri, strong Warlpiri and what I call light Warlpiri, or the children call Lajamanu style. In this report, we'll see the pictures that they were talking about and hear the children speaking Warlpiri. I'll talk a little bit about what's great about the way that they're speaking Warlpiri. First, we'll hear about verbs, or words that are about actions. The children use lots of different types of verbs in their Warlpiri.
Mami mano kudu kapala pulam yandan pina ula pina kangan kudu bau wedaka manyokari candokolo wilbiban muka nyambo kudu ka warkan watiang candona.
Warlpiri verbs can have two parts, a preverb and then a main verb. The children use these complex verbs in their stories.
Mula jangal watialap yal kojon inat kacadangunam kandangat kapinam mane malagit. Mula jangal prilila wa yal pandija. Jinda kayuluarne kudu kakait unroman babawra.
Another important thing about Warlpiri verbs is that they show the time when something was happening. All the way through the stories, the children show that they know how to use these different verb forms to show the time when the action was happening.
Nyambuk kurubakul kabulurane enya kudujo luwarne wun balo nyango candongo ula jangan yapaka onam watia wana.
When people speak more than one language, as the children in Lajamanu do, it's very common for some elements from one language to go into the other. This happens a little bit in the use of verbs because the children use a few English verbs in their Warlpiri. This is not a bad thing, it's something that always happens when people are bilingual, and it's really not a problem as long as the children are also learning the Warlpiri verb. One really good thing about the way that the children use these English verbs in their Warlpiri is that they use them in a Warlpiri structure with a Warlpiri verb. So they use the preverb from English, like strikey, but the whole verb is strikey money, which is a Warlpiri verb.
Lightning and strikey man, what is it? Tadian kajuriman polok.
Sometimes other words from English are used. Often these are words that have been borrowed into Warlpiri because there wasn't a Warlpiri word for it. For example, tyre on a car or ladder. This is completely natural and it's not a problem. Sometimes the children use English words when there is a Warlpiri word that they could be using. This is okay as long as the children are learning the Warlpiri word as well. Adults can help by using Warlpiri words when they speak to the children.
Golok kanyiname white yola jawat set nyinaja nyanyang rajal nyanyika.
But the children use Warlpiri words most of the time, and they use lots of different kinds of Warlpiri words, which is fantastic.
Tanda kapulanya ng katuna yalukura. Unbang luwano. Yalukura. Kurupacho wenbango pakanuraka. Ngula janggajo wana bariano no
Nyambura Viria Kanta Kainani Kanta what yangacho. Ngapa wanti japirani.
Lajamanu Kurumanu Chitagai Kuro Kapala Ordinal Ninam Chandu Nachandu.
Now let's look at the structure or the grammar of the children's Warlpiri, which means how they put words together to make sentences.
Kandango Amane Chando Changala Jo Pachuno Warnanga Jo Uliang Margit Man Yapango
Chungajok old man Nyanyang Maligit Kandang
One way that Warlpiri differs from English is about showing who is doing an action to someone or something else. In Warlpiri there's an ending on the word that represents who or what is doing an action, called the ergative ending. If someone says,
Wirialo Loan Pulogo Kakadoana,
we know that the boy was the one who did the action. In the children's Warlpiri, they do use the ergative ending most of the time. This is great because it's an important Warlpiri element.
Kumbia Chuburulang Madano Makiri
Manunya Kumje Japanango Luan Pulo
Kandango Amane Chando.
A change to the ergative ending is taking place in all of the communities. Speakers often use the ending instead of the longer endings.
Chungajok Watanga Loana Polokot
And Yapang Kanyirikna Androk
Torawanenka Mane Chando.
Another pattern that is in Warlpiri but not in English is when la is used, the way that it's used in this example.
Kanda Borojo La Yulaja Nando.
All of the Warlpiri word endings are used in the children's stories.
Yanul Nangora
Inya Yano Nebulenge Yopaligra
Manulu Watia Jumuruke Janga Kurumana Madage Kapala Play Jam Swing La
Jenak Kanda Kapulanya ng Katuna Yalukura. Nandoka Moname Walangona.
A lot of children use the Warlpiri way of joining sentences together, but some children also use the English word and to do that.
Mula Jangajo Wanabariano no
Lajamanu Mami Mano Kuro Kapala Pulam.
Another important thing about Warlpiri verbs is that they show the time when something was happening. All the way through the stories, the children show that they know how to use these different verb forms to show the time when the action was happening.
Kurumana Madage Kapala Play Jam Swing La
Maliki Mano Kuruchara Pala Mano Karija Warini Kalniname Yanonolo Ngurakara Walolongojumano.
In Warlpiri, it's important to show how many people are doing an action. 1, 2, or more than 2. A lot of the children do this.
And Kumje Jakamaralo Luarno Jana Pilikulo Nando Mano Poloko.
The children use the verb and auxiliary patterns correctly to show the different times that an action happened, whether it happened in the past, is happening now, or might happen in the future.
Nyambuk Kurubagol Kabulurani enya. Pan kajal mereka kara. Kuku kaya nene kapumani canto. Pan kajala ikum jenu ada untuk jeja. Dan una jalba walunga.
Speakers have to know the grammatical patterns for joining parts of sentences together. A lot of the children show that they know how to do this.
Udah jangan babangot manukulungot namanya kepalanya di Jakarta dan yang murid
Yei mano mama kapan kami maninjaku candok.
Most often Warlpiri words end in a vowel, a, I, or u. One change that's taking place in all of the Warlpiri communities is that sometimes the a, I, or u isn't on the end of the word and the word ends in a consonant.
Family wat kani nami candok nanya puja.
In Lajamanu, children and younger adults speak two types of Warlpiri, strong Warlpiri and what I call light Warlpiri.
Wan kandawang emadum cando.
In light Warlpiri, words and patterns from Warlpiri and English are mixed together, and they're combined together in very particular ways. A lot of words and the endings on words are from Warlpiri. Verbs are from English or Creole. Another part of the pattern, the auxiliary, looks like it's from English or Creole, but actually it's a combination of English or Creole and Warlpiri. And it has a completely new structure that's only in light Warlpiri, so that's really interesting. This new structure is in words like yoom and weem. The new words yoom and weem fit together with all of the other words so that there's a completely new pattern. All of these fit together to make a complete system. You can see that the Warlpiri word endings and a lot of Warlpiri words are part of this system. Light Warlpiri keeps the ergative ending along with the other word endings. It doesn't use the ergative ending as much as it's used in strong Warlpiri. And in light Warlpiri, the ending is used most of the time. Another interesting thing about light Warlpiri is that it uses some Warlpiri verbs with a Creole ending on them. This is a special feature of light Warlpiri. Now we're coming to the end of this report. The children do learn strong Warlpiri in Lajamanu. They learn it at home and they learn it at school. It's important to speak to the children in Warlpiri as much as possible to help them to learn it better and to become stronger at it. The more that people speak in strong Warlpiri to the children, the more the children will learn strong Warlpiri. Talking, playing games and reading books in Warlpiri will all help. Most of the children get more confident with their Warlpiri as they get older. If people speak to the children in Warlpiri at school and at home,